What's up, hobby friends? This video tutorial is on how to paint the lightsabers from Star Wars Shatterpoint. I will be demonstrating this on the Count Dooku model, but you can absolutely swap the colors out and apply this to any lightsaber color. So the painting of the lightsaber and then the OSL, it's really the components that I think sell the effect of a glowing lightsaber. It ended up being a particular challenge, mainly because I'm not the strongest in OSL, so this was a lot of experimentation, sort of playing around with colors and figuring it out as I go. I don't think the effect is perfect, but I do like how it turned out. I'm pretty happy with it for a tabletop piece, and I think it's a great first step, or I guess technically fourth step. This is my fourth model recently with OSL. So just putting the reps in, getting the practice in. So painting this is in two parts. I'll be doing the lightsaber first, and then I'll be doing the OSL afterwards. So to start on the lightsaber, I'm going to start with a base coat of wine red, and I'm going to highlight with carmine, blood red, scarlet red, and then I go in with pure white. And so basically what's going to happen, or the way I'm going to approach it, is I'm going to start with the wine red, and I'm going to do a blend through carmine, blood red, and scarlet red all the way up through to the tip. I do add a bit of bright spots near the, I'd say the lower third, and I'm sort of treating it like a pseudo non-metal blade. From there, I go in with pure white, and I do a couple of glazes at the tip, and I bring the blade down. If you think of the blade as more of a square as opposed to a cylinder, on a square, you're going to have the four corners receiving an edge highlight, and that's sort of what I try and capture on the blade here as well. I do a white highlight along four edges. I start with one side and then do the reverse, so that along the blade I fake four sharp edge highlights. I apply one to the base as well. And that'll pretty much wrap up the painting of the blade. Fairly straightforward, very simple. You want to make sure that you're using the edge of the brush. Keep your paints nice and diluted so you get a really nice crisp white highlight. From there, doing the OSL, basically the way I approached it was I did a couple of airbrush glazes with some Inktense red and then some wine red, just to lay down a few initial tones, sort of map out where I wanted the red to happen. And then from there, it was just a matter of slowly working my highlights in with wine red, carmine, blood red, and scarlet red. Once I got up to that point, for the most part, that's like the majority of the red tones. You can see it particularly on the pants here. This is scarlet red at its brightest point. From there, it was time to tackle the brighter highlights of all the areas immediately around the blade. So we're looking at the hand, the sleeve, and we're looking at the bottom corner of the cape. And for that, I pushed the highlights even further using Vallejo's Fire Flame, Sunny Skin Tone, and some highlight flush for my very final highlights. Effectively, I treated the brightest highlight on the blade as being white. And then the rule of thumb for source lighting is that the reflection is always slightly lower in value than the actual value of the blade itself. So if the blade is white, then obviously I can't take my OSL, my reflective highlights, up to white. So I go just below that. And for that, that's where the highlight flush is. You can see that you see the corner of the cape here. I sharpen the highlights on the lightsaber with this color. I highlight the fingers as well as the cuff of the sleeve. I really tried to play around with that split, or that balance between the cooler blues and the bright reds, and I'm actually really happy with how the tunic turned out. For the shadows in the areas that are receiving this source lighting red, I went in with glazes of Vallejo's Evil Red, as well as some Druchii Violet, so that where there were shadows, I just warmed it up with that sort of reddish purple tone, because originally it was more leaning towards the blue. Cool tone didn't really make sense. I also pushed this underpainting into some of the shadows under the tunic and just faded it out, getting softer and softer, just to simulate the light fall off. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the tutorial, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more awesome weekly content. So this was a shorter segment from the full-length tutorial that I will have up on my Patreon for painting the entire Twice the Pride squad pack, which I will be releasing later in July. If you want to sign up or check out my other social media platforms, links will be in the description below. And as always, until next time, happy hobbying.